Good afternoon from the Ruby Room at Coronado Public Library. I'm Miss Jennifer and welcome back to our Tinker Tuesdays. So of course we didn't do Tinker Tuesdays over the summer. We did our summer reading program, but now that we're back into the fall, we're going to go back to our regular Tinker Tuesdays. This time we'll be moving back to accommodate school hours. So from here on out, Tinker Tuesdays is at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays, and it is both in person, which will be in the library park, and we will also have it online available on Facebook and YouTube. The video will post at 3:30, the same time we're going to have our in-person event. So that being said, we're going to dive into today's Tinker Tuesday. Today we're doing paper plate magnet mazes. So this Tinker Tuesday has, of course, a video associated with it, which means we're also doing a kit. So not all of our Tinker Tuesdays will be on video. Some of them just don't really work on video, or the supplies are more of an in-person thing. For example, we're going to be doing rubber band snap painting in a couple of weeks, and there won't be an online content for that. It'll be in person only, but that'll always be indicated on our calendar, as well as the posts I make on Facebook and YouTube. It'll let you know whether it's in person only or whether there'll be a video and kit associated with the event. So of course the kits are available at the circulation desk. It'll be available starting at noon the day of the program. So if it's Tinker Tuesday, so this week our kits were available at noon up at the circulation desk. They are of course first come first serve while supplies last. So if you're seeing this video and you didn't get a kit, go ahead and run down to the children's department, the circulation desk, and grab yourself a kit for this event. So what are in your kits? So here's this week's kit. I'll go over what's included and what's not included. So I'm going to go ahead and take everything out of our lovely kit and set that aside. Okay, so inside your kit you will find the sheet here. It's a little maze planner. So this can help you design your maze before you commit it to your paper plate. So we'll go over that a little bit more in a second. You will have this little sheet that details all of the Tinker Tuesdays for this month. I indicate on this sheet whether there is a video and a craft by putting a star next to the item. So there's that. Now for the actual event, you have, of course, paper plate. You get this small little disc, which is to help you design your images, and we'll go over that in a minute. You get a chopstick. You get a piece of string, a push pin, a piece of cardboard, and you will get 2 magnets. The back of these are sticky. We'll go over that more in a minute. What is not included in this kit is a pencil. And if you want a marker or a Sharpie or something like that to make your maze lines more defined once you've gotten them down, and tape. So we'll be making them together, but we'll go over the basics. So you're going to create on your paper plate a maze. And I went ahead and made my little images to go with it. So here I have a little bookworm, and my bookworm is going to go for my little book I made. So I'm going to be, sorry, you might want glue too if you're going to make it separate. You can design your images straight on your paper plate, the one that's going to go in the center, or you can use this little circle I provided to make an image, 2 images, to go with your paper plate. And of course, I'm doing a bookworm to go around my maze, to go towards my book, but you can do anything, any 2 items to make your maze. So the trick to the maze is to put the item you're moving towards in the center, and then you're going to make circles around that coming at a larger distance. And of course, the more levels you make or smaller circles going outwards, the more complicated your maze can be. So each circle needs an entrance. So if you want to plan it out, this can help you here. You can do something completely different, but I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a circle maze. I'm not going to use the planner, but you guys are welcome to do so. So I already have my images, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, grab glue because I forgot glue. I'm going to be gluing my bookmark down, well, probably at the end because I'm going to go straight to the paper plate. So I'm going to readjust the cameras for a closer look, and then we're going to make this maze together. All right, hold on tight. Okay, so we're ready for the next part. I'm going to actually build my maze. Sometimes when you're doing Tinker Tuesdays and doing things with science or art, sometimes things don't go exactly how you planned the first time. So originally, I intended to use our lovely push pin, our string, and tie it around a pencil to make a point to use the pencil to go around. However, it was a little awkward in execution, and as I turned, the string got shorter because it was going around the push pin, so it didn't make the nicest circle. So, as with everything, sometimes you need to adjust your plans. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to freehand our maze. Again, there's that paper that you can plan out and plan it that way. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to freehand my circles. And the first step is I'm going to glue down my lovely book. So I've got a glue stick. Open. And I'm going to use my ruined paper plate to glue down the back of this, get it nice and coated. All right. And then I'm going to place it in the center of my paper plate. So now I can hand draw circles and make rings going out. And of course, you don't have to make circles. You can make your maze however you want, but I'm going to be drawing circles freehand. Remember, you need at least one entrance to each level of the circle if you do the circle method. That way you can complete the maze, but you can do more than one if you want, and you can also add walls to cut spaces off. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start my circle. I'm just going to carefully freehand this. And I'm working with pencil in case I don't like something, I can erase it. And then when I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to go back through with my marker. So that's my first ring. Now, of course, the tighter you make these, the more levels you have. So this one I did 2, and this one I did 1. So we're just going to keep going. My little person, my little worm moving around is a little bit bigger, but that's okay as long as he can trace it. But if you want your object or item or person or thing going around the maze to fit perfectly within the lines, you need to size it accordingly. So if I really wanted him to be completely within the lines and not just following along, I'd have to make my rings a lot thicker. So totally up to you. It's your maze, however you want to make it. I'm choosing to do thinner just because it gives me the chance to make more. So I'm going to keep going. And I wouldn't go all the way to the edge right here where the plate starts to go up. I would stop about that point, because it'll be hard for your thing going around your maze to make a good connection with the second magnet. So I'm going to do one more, and of course you want a starting point somewhere over there, wherever you're going to put it. So I like how that is, and I can even write start. All right, and then this is where my little bookworm is going to enter the maze, and I can go around. You can also, from this point, start adding false walls to block off some of the paths. So you just want to make sure when you're doing that is that you still make sure that you can still get through the maze. So I'm going to start blocking off spaces. So I'm going to add a wall here. So what this does is I could go this way, but I can't go that way. So I'd have to go all the way around here and enter into the next level from here. And then I can go from here, or I can block it off. I'm not going to. I'll go to the next level. So I have two entrances here. So I'm just going to draw a line here. And because I only want one entrance, I'm going to draw a second line here. So now this is the only way in, and then to the center. So I've got my lovely maze. I'm pretty happy with it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with my marker. I'm going to neaten up my lines, make them darker. Okay, so here I can just clean up anywhere the pencil is showing. in the spaces I didn't make the nicest line. Okay, so the next step, of course, we need to attach. So we've got our little worm, we need our chopstick. What we're going to do is we're going to tape the second magnet to it. So this side, one of the sides is sticky. We're going to place it on the top. And then just for some extra security, I'm going to add another piece of tape going around so it stays nice and in place. And that way the sticky exposed parts aren't touching things. All right. So now we're ready to test out our maze. So of course, I've got my worm up top. That's where he goes. I'm gonna place him over by the start. Your other magnet goes on the bottom, and then you can direct your worm or whatever you do around the maze. Now, of course, on this outer edge, it's going to be a little bit tougher because the connection isn't as good. But as you go around closer to the center, it should get a little bit easier to direct your little worm or whatever you build. I've already forgotten how to go in the maze. There he goes. So my little earthworm made it, bookworm made it to the center of my maze. So stay tuned next week for another Tinker Tuesday. Next week we'll be doing a more sciencey kind of STEAM. I tend to alternate between more artistic and more science. And of course, the last Tuesday of every month is extra special. We do an engineering challenge, which is basically we engineer a concept. This month is apples ahead, where kids will be building devices to keep an apple on top of their head. And in person, we'll be doing like little races to see who can make it across the race and back with the apple still on their head. So stay tuned for that. And of course, this kit is available at the circulation desk while supplies last. And I'll see you next week for another Tinker Tuesday. All right, see ya. Bye.